Anyway, this is one we're going to do. This is a blueberry. It's never been pruned, ever. You can see how dense it is. And what I like about doing it now is you see all these little dead pieces in here that you might not have seen when it was all deciduous. Now it's very visible. And so with everything, and I always tell people this, you always start with pruning. Most people start pruning working on the ends, back end. That's opposite how you should. You should work from the inside out.
Okay, that makes sense.
And get rid of the crossovers, the big stuff that's in the way. Now watch this. See this big leader coming right out of the center here? See got a nice branch going across here? I'm going to take that out immediately, first thing. You see how that just freed up that center? See how we don't have, and you see how this one here is doing the same thing, crowding over? See. You'll see as I get in the center and start opening it up, everything else becomes more clear what to do. See here we got another big piece coming up here through the center, right here. You see, my sense is that everything growing has to have light and air. And when you get too much density, things aren't happening. So by getting in the center and getting all this junk out of the middle, you're going to see very shortly the rest is going to make much more sense where to go. It's not going to be like, oh, what do I do with this? So I'm getting rid of all this clutter. See all these suckers coming straight up? You see, they're just going to be crowding everything.
Now, can you take any of those prunings and replant them?
Yeah, you could. You could stick them in the...
Stick them in water and let them root.
Because these are the Olympias, right?
No, this is not. This is an evergreen.
Oh.
Someone gave some guy gave this to me. I don't even know its name, but it's an evergreen on blueberry. Olympias are over there by the wasabi.
Those are the ones I like.
Yeah, that's an incredible producer. Man. It's just amazing. This is a nice berry, but it doesn't produce like the Olympia. You see, I got this nice branch coming across here, and so I'm getting rid of all this dead stuff that's in its way. So I want to give space to it. See, this stuff here is just, a lot of it's dead. It's not even this is a nice healthy piece, and it's going to fill this area very nicely. So I just get all this stuff that's in its way out. Just open it up. See how this piece comes in across, so get rid of it. This is hanging down underneath. Get rid of it. See, this is all this low stuff. Will just be totally shaded by what's above, so it's not going to do well. So we get rid of it. Here's another leader. It's coming up. See, this goes across all this stuff inside here, so I'm just going to go right back to where it originates.
Yeah, your pruning reminds me of the way Anne Marie does it. She's just brutal.
Well, it's not.
And everything she prunes just thrives.
I don't consider it being brutal. I'm just, clearing space.
Yeah.
You see how getting that big mass out of there just opened that. It works. See this again goes up in the center here, crowding. See how this crosses over. All this nice stuff I want to keep. You see how this is going to go underneath all that. Someone's going to cut it back to this piece here. It's going to be open. You see, when I get done, you're going to see that everything that I'm leaving is going to have access to light, going to be accessible, and not crowded. Then you come back next year, and it'll look like I hadn't pruned. It'll come back so full and so vigorous because the pruning is such a stimulant. There's nothing that'll make something grow as effectively as cutting it.
Yep.
I'm telling you, it's dramatic. So if you want something to grow, cut it. Again, these are the things that is hard for the natural mind, because it makes no sense, because the natural mind says, well, you're taking away from. how does that cause it to produce more? It just does. Like I say, the natural mind doesn't get it, but it's the reality. It's the truth. What the truth is. See how we're just, just freeing the space up. Everything's just getting nice and open. And you see, I like the way this flows out. And see, this is coming up in the center of it. So get it out. See, this is heading back in. And we want nothing going in. We want stuff coming out.
How old is this bush?
I think this is probably about 3 years old. I've had it 3 years. I don't know how old it was when it came, but I've had it for 3 years. Blueberries are all different sizes. There's one I have out there in the front, but it's going to be 8 feet tall. I'm so looking forward to that. Can you imagine standing at not having to bend over and just be reaching stuff at eye level? It's going to be so cool. It's just not your typical, usually you're having to bend over to pick blueberries, but this one's going to be 8 feet tall, so it's going to be an awesome variety to have, You see how that citron's all nice and opened up now? Everything's going to get light. See, nothing should be touching. Everything should have, space between it. You shouldn't have anything laying on top of one another. This would be one you could get to root. You see this? This is something too.
Oh, really?
Well, you see, it's laying in the ground. Let me show you. You're gonna have roots already on it here. See the little roots developing? See, I was already laying in the ground.
Nice. That was coming home with me.
So if you ever have a plant like rhododendron or something you like, Just take a low branch, bend it over into wood chips, and leave it attached for a year, and then the next year just pull the wood chips back, and you've got to cut it off, and you've got a nice plant because it will have developed roots. Because laying in the ground, it's just what plants do. They develop roots. Okay.
So there's not another blueberry right over here. Is this self-pollinating, or is it just...
There's one right there,
one
right there.
Okay. I didn't even see them.
Now you see, those are deciduous. See how open they are. This is a fuller. You think and you see those will just by next year will be just totally full. It's incredible how stuff grows. When it's pruned. It's just again trying to stop stuff. So you see the art of pruning is hiding your cuts. Usually when you come across something that's pruned, they're hacking it, and you look at all these stumps in your face. You see how you see in a few days when those cuts will heal over, there'll be no mark, and it looks like this is just how it grew.
Yeah.
That's the art of pruning, is doing everything in the interior, finishing with the natural. It looks like you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And you can see how nice and open that is. Everything has its space. Sun can get to everything, and it's...
Yep. And it will thrive.
Thrive. And that's how pruning's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's an art form.
It is.
I feel so blessed I get to do it. Anyway, Karina, I hope this was helpful to you. Bless you. Have a wonderful day.
It's perfect.
See, you look at that blueberry by the dog. It doesn't appear to have been pruned.
No.
You'd never think that was pruned. We just did it.
Yeah.
And we took, a lot out. Probably
really good.
At least a good third, but it doesn't look like it's pruned.
That was one of the things that I was watching some videos and stuff about, and they were saying that you're supposed to take like 70% off of a blueberry bush.
70?
That's up to. Like 50 to 70%.
What do you have left?
That's what I'm saying. And then I was watching some of that, and that was like the schools, like I think Michigan University or something like that. And then I saw like some blueberry farmers, and they were out there, they had all the rows of the blueberries, kind of like what your kale looks like. They just went with the loppers and chop, 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 and then gone.
Isn't that pathetic? To me, that's just so gross. Because every place you cut, you get suckers coming back, so it gets really dense, and with always multiples, and it looks ugly.
Yeah.
You see that, like that blueberry, you can just see how it's got full of air, light, everything can reach it, and it looks natural. This whole idea of shearing stuff, what they do now is totally insanity, and it's ugly. It looks terrible, besides produces terrible. And it's such a nightmare to have to pick, and all that density, Can't see anything.